And with that, I will call the meeting to order. First, I'd like to recognize Henry Collier, who's in our audience this evening, who's a former school administrator. Thank you for being here. That brings us to Section 2, changes to the agenda and approval of the agenda. I do have one change. Item 7.24, which was a self-help project for fundraising and planning only to install new synthetic turf at Niceville High School, has been moved to the public hearing section, which will be at 6:15. That's Section 15. So with that, I need...
Madam Chair, that's the item on the site selection.
That one is already on there.
7.25.
That's,
Not the field, but the
that's,
site selection.
yes,
7.25 is moved to public hearing. That's right.
7.25.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
I think the Niceville self-help is still on consent.
7.24 is still on consent.
Okay, so we left that on consent.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
So
you.
You need a motion to that effect on that change, Mr. Attorney?
Please.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll
Thank
second
you.
it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved unanimously. All right. And Section 3, we have a recognition of Choctawhatchee High School Indianettes dance team, state champions at the 2023 Universal Dance Association Florida Championships Varsity Game Day Division, presented by Superintendent Chambers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to say to start, I walked back there to the ladies and I said, who's going to give the 10-minute speech?
Did they-
And they all kind of looked at each other and they said Coach would do it. But I do want to say a few words, and Principal Heck, if you'd make your way towards the podium. But I want to say, as you know, the Indianettes dance team, absolutely fantastic. It seems like you guys are here every year. And one of the things that we talk about when it comes to dance in our county, and these ladies know, it's one thing to go to the competition and win. Everybody sees that. But what they don't see are the morning workouts. They don't see the sweat, the tears, all that goes into being a champion. And those are the moments that you all will remember the rest of your life. And those are the moments that are going to help you be the successful individuals that you're going to be one day. Again, it's one thing to go perform, and that's extremely important, but it's all the time, the effort, coming together, working with your coach, representing your school. That's what really matters. And then, of course, when you do that and then you have a high level of talent, that's also when you become a state champion. So we could absolutely not be more proud. And just want to say, Coach Shank, absolutely great job. You seem to be here every year. And ladies, you're continuing that legacy at Choctaw when it comes to dance. And I'm sure our board members are going to have some words for you in a moment. But I want to first say, Principal Heck, you might have some words as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you having Choctaw here tonight. You're absolutely right. You know this firsthand as being educators, as being board members. Sweat, tears are the least of everything. Like so many successful teams in our school districts, at our schools, the seasons are long. The practice is tireless. The effort is unbelievable, and our 2022-2023 Indianette team has been doing just that all season. Tryouts were in May, all summer long, all fall, all winter. It is, along with cheerleading, the longest season, and I am thrilled to be here tonight. They are a small but mighty team, and along the lines with sweat and tears, there are obstacles. This team is resilient. I think between injuries and setbacks, I think one of their greatest strengths is holding on to one another. That's that team bond, that's that sisterhood in this case, that they have done time and time again. I'm so very proud of them. Thank you for recognizing this hard work, this state championship, with them here tonight. So with that, I'd love to
If we
call
could have
Shank.
Coach
Yeah.
come up. Coach is creating a dynasty over at Choctaw. And you might have some words as well.
Well, I just want to thank Ms. Heck and administration for supporting us the way they do, and of course all of their parents. We couldn't do anything that we do without the support of the parents. But this is a very special group of girls. They're very young. There's no seniors in this group. They're actually led by 2 sophomore co-captains. So their love for each other and the school is unbelievable. Like, I have so much admiration for them. So I'd like to let our captains come talk if you don't mind.
All right?
Okay.
So as Ms. Shanks said, like, this team is really different than any other team that I've been on, and we really do just have a really special and cohesive bond, and I just really love this team so much, and it's way different than any other team that I've been on. I've been dancing competitively for 6 years, so that's like 6 different teams that I've been on with 6 different groups of girls, and I just love this team so much, and I just know that the future holds greatness for us. Thank you.
This team really truly has come a long ways. We started with, we have 4 new kids on our team, so we only have 4 returners, and we have truly come a long way with such a young team and has accomplished something new for Indianettes that's never been accomplished before, a game day state title. So I truly am proud of this team, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds. Thank you.
Dr. White, can you join us?
Sure, absolutely.
Katie Folsom. Alyssa Vincent. Ariana Gray. Danae Parsons. Trinity Carter. Addison Newhouse. Catherine Evans. And Camila Olika Mitchell.
So we want to do your thing?
I'm gonna do it first right here. First right here.
And congratulations to those girls and their coaches and principal again, and feel free to evacuate if you need to get on to other things this evening. Clear the building, in other words. We understand completely.
Yep. Yeah, been there and done that.
Yep, for sure. Thank you.
I like that. Thank you.
Evacuate. So that brings us down to Section 4, Administrative Personnel Appointments, and we don't have any of those tonight. Section 5, Public Comment for Agenda Items, that would be our blue card. We do not have any of those tonight. Section 6, Committee and Staff Reports. 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3 were heard at our workshop, and that brings us to 6.4, Quarterly Progress Report of the Sales Tax Citizens Oversight Committee, presented by Jason Belcher, Committee Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Belcher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to address the board and the district on behalf of the committee. I'm afraid I'm going to sound a little bit like I'm on repeat. I believe now 3 times addressed the committee, and all 3 times said that as a citizen representative, we're very pleased with the progress that the district's making in Jacob Titan and their oversight of the projects. Since I was last here, we have met twice as a committee, I believe, on November the 8th of 2022, and then again in January, and we'll meet again here soon. At both meetings, we discussed the status of the projects, and we're enamored by a couple of things in our meetings. First, the accelerated collections that are even above the appropriated amounts that Ms. Julie has given us previously as an estimate. The half-cent sales tax initiative has done wonders to begin to accelerate these additional dollars. And though the district has not added projects, the ability to be able to accelerate projects such as you are now entering into Phase 2 of the security reinforcement and security tasks. This was something that was not necessarily on the drawing board to be the upgrades to be done as quickly as they're being done now. But because of the additional funds collected, that has been accelerated. We have, I think at this point, multi-purpose buildings at some stage, some in very aggressive stages of construction, but at Fort Walton, Crestview High, Baker School, Choctaw, and Niceville. So at some stage of planning, even some stage of significant construction, these large multi-purpose buildings are going up. The classroom additions at Silver Sands, Elliott Point, Crestview High, and Laurel Hill have all successfully gotten underway or planning significantly, but most, if not all, of these are underway. And then the cafetoriums, very important buildings at Edwin, Wright, Ruckle, Plew, Bob Sykes, and Shalimar Elementary are all in some various states. So those are the most significant of the second set of initiatives and work orders that are task orders that the district has in place. The first ones, especially the security upgrades and single point of entries, have all, for the most part, I believe, have been completed. Speaking of task orders, there are 28 that I count, by my count, 28 they're in some form of progress at this point. To see that amount of work being done over, what are we now in our 3rd year? 21, 22, we're now in the 23 of having this be effective. It's just been an amazing amount of success. And from the citizen standpoint, we're extremely pleased. I'm hoping that sometime this year I can begin to have individual members of the committee. If I've shared this with you already, I apologize. But I want to have individual members of the committee make some site visits from time to time, especially in the areas where the committee members are representing. As you well know, our chambers, such as our Destin Chamber, Niceville Chamber, Crestview Chamber, nominated persons who were who added to the committee over time, not entirely from the chambers, but to a good degree. And so each area of the district is represented by someone who is looking out not only for the entire district countywide, but also for their area. And they've also been able to field questions specifically from the folks in the community that they deal with, which has been a huge benefit, I think. But I'd like to start sending them out from time to time to see the progress as it's made and to make some site visits. So I hope I can report in the future that so many members have made site visits, and we've been able to get that done. Also, Mr. Chambers and I will be doing some public meetings from time to time. Ms. Catherine is helping establish that. The first one we're going to do was with the Destin Rotary Club here in March. So we're working on doing that a little more often, hoping to keep the citizens updated. But I think the general consensus that I would leave with this group is that from our perspective, from the members of the committee, which the composition of the committee has not changed since I updated you at the end of the year. The composition of the committee is made up of members who now serve, for the most part, for several years. And we're hearing good reports back from the community. They're seeing the progress being made. They're hearing of the savings being made. They know that it's been a difficult environment, especially post-COVID, with supplies and things like that, and to still see progress being made, trades in place, schools being improved, repairs to roof, repairs to gym floors, all the things that are important to the quality education that this county provides its citizens. We're getting that back. We're not getting a great deal of complaints or questions to the contrary, or even adverse attitudes. It's been extremely positive feedback so far. So all I can say is, from the citizen standpoint, keep it up. Let's not take our foot off the gas when it comes to Jacobs Titan. I'll make sure Mr. Joel knows he can't let up. But from the citizen standpoint, we're very pleased, and I just wish to report that tonight. Here to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Belcher.
Thank you,
Much
Diane.
appreciated.
Yes, thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
And don't we have
Public
a
hearing.
public
Yes,
hearing?
ma'am.
So at this time, colleagues, if you'll scroll to section 15, public hearing 15.1.
And Madam Chair, we would ask the board tonight if you would consider first in this public hearing phase, item 7.25 from your consent agenda was the site selection report recommendation to the board. District staff presented that to the board a couple of meetings ago with full details, and this is the report that recommends this site based upon the statutory standards. And we would ask you to take up the consideration of that site selection report first before you consider the resolution that has the purchase contract,
And you need a motion?
to approve and
To
accept
approve
the
that,
site
exactly.
selection report.
All right, so I'll make that motion.
After,
Dr. Kelly.
and
Have
then
a-
public comment before you vote.
Right.
So I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Motion by Dr. White, seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Let us have a public comment
I'm
first,
sorry.
please.
Anyone here to address this topic? Seeing none, have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposition, so it passed unanimously.
Now, item 15.1, which is Resolution 2303, proposing a purchase and sale agreement for this real property located in Crestview, Florida. Board members, the resolution attached to it is the proposed purchase and sale agreement. You know the information about this site. It is approximately an 80-acre site located in Crestview. There is an addendum that had been placed with the contract. The seller had asked us to give him the option on his side of the transaction to do a Section 1031 IRS exchange. That will not cause any cost or expense to the district, and it would be his option if he chooses to do that. So before you tonight is the proposed contract, and it's here for your consideration and for public hearing before you vote.
Okay.
And I'll make a motion that we accept that, item 15.1 for adoption.
So I have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second it.
I have a second. Is anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it passed unanimously.
And that would conclude your public hearing for tonight.
Thank you. So we need to scroll back up to section 7, where we left off. And section 7 is approval of the consent agenda. So again, I will need a motion and a second.
I move we approve the agenda.
So I have a motion,
I'll second it.
have a second by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it passed unanimously. And now on to section 8. Superintendent's Human Resources Recommendation. 8.1, Employees on Administrative Leave. 8.2, Deferred Retirement Option Program. 8.3, Request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a new job description for ESE Analyst, and presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. I need a second.
I'll
Second.
second. Oh, go ahead.
Second by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? So it passed unanimously. 8.4, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a new job description for Accounts Payable Analyst, Finance Department, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval. So I need a motion.
Move it.
Moved by Dr. White. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. 8.5, out-of-field report for the 2022-2023 school year presented by Ms. Peak and recommended by the superintendent for approval. So I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Moved by Ms. Evangelik. I need a
Second.
second. Seconded by Dr. White. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? So it passed unanimously. 8.6, employment separations presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evangelik. All in favor?
Aye.
So it passed unanimously. 8.7, personnel recommendations presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
I'll
Need a
move it.
motion? Moved by Dr. White.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it passed unanimously. 8.8, employee transfers presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evangelik. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. 8.9, employee suspension presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval. Need a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
seconded by Dr. White. All in favor?
Aye.
So it passed unanimously. 8.10, employee suspension presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
I'll move it.
Moved by Ms. Evangelik. Need a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. 8.11, reinstatement, reimbursement of sick leave due to line-of-duty illness, injury, or medical examination, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
Move it.
Moved by Dr. White. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it passed unanimously. 8.12, leave without pay, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
I'll move it.
Moved by Ms. Evangelik.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. White. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. That brings us to Section 9. We have nothing moved to the discussion agenda. So that brings us to Section 10, Construction Program Owners Representatives Business. Do we have a report from Mr. Bryant?
No report, but Mr. Belcher's already left. I was going to say thank you to the Citizens Advisory Committee for all that they do. I know we have another meeting coming up here shortly, but and our next meeting will be before the next board meeting, so I'll have a report then. But as you see, we're getting ready to vote on some pretty cool stuff. So
Absolutely. And that moves us down to 10.2, TPM, Total Project Management Program Number 6, Task Order Number 31, Pre-GMP for Laurel Hill School Sewage Treatment Facility, presented by Dr. Smith and recommended by the superintendent for approval.
I'll make a motion that we accept 10.2.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evangelik. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So passed unanimously. 10.3, TPM Program Number 6, Task Order Number 30, Scope Modification, Construction of New Electrical Services to Lewis School and Crestview High School with upgrades to Niceville High School. I need a motion.
Move it.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evangelik. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Passed unanimously. 10.4, TPM Program Number 6, Task Order Number 32, Pre-GMP for Plew Elementary School and Kenwood Elementary School roof replacement.
Move it.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. 10.5, TPM Program Number 6, Task Order Number 33, Pre-GMP for Press Box Concession Restroom Buildings at Fort Walton Beach High School, Crestview High School, and Lewis School. I need a motion.
Move it.
Moved by Dr. White. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. And that brings us to Section 11, Attorney's Business.
No report tonight.
Thank you. And 12.1 would be out-of-state student trip request, but 12.2 is correspondence by the superintendent.
And thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, I shared a number of items this morning, and I have nothing else to share tonight.
Thank you. We appreciated those comments this morning.
Thank you.
That brings us to 13, board members' announcements and requests for information. So the first item is the collection of our ballots for the Peggy Gorday Bruner Award. So we'll pass those over to Miss Mary. Thank you. Yeah, I see she is in receipt of those. So 13.2, board members' announcements and requests for information. So we'll start with Ms. Evanchik.
Well, just like Mr. Chambers, I said a lot at the workshop, so I think I'm good for now. Thank you.
Okay. So Mr. Bryant.
I think I'm good tonight, too.
All right.
Well,
Dr. White.
thank you both for yielding your time.
There you go. You got it.
I'm probably going to need it.
Good.
All right, well, first of all, congratulations to the Choctaw Archery team for placing second at the National Archery in the Schools Program Tournament this past weekend, and this qualifies them for nationals in Kentucky.
Yay.
Congratulations to Miss Choctawhatchee 2023, Camilla Lako Mitchell, and congratulations to Chi Medina, who was the 2023 Taylor Hagen Trophy winner at Choctaw. I'd also like to express appreciation to Choctawhatchee's shop class as they built 6 new boxes to be used by the Okaloosa Sheriff's K-9 training program. And along those lines, they'll be hosting their IB open house for all prospective students and parents in the Choctaw Auditorium on March the 1st at 5:30. Choctawhatchee will also hold their high school registration parent information night for all 8th grade parents. And of course, they're not an 8th grade center, but they're getting ready to welcome those new Choctawhatchee Indians at this particular meeting on March the 6th at 5:30 again. Congratulations to Meigs Middle School academic team who placed second out of 11 in the Davidson Academic Tournament. An open house at Pryor Middle School tomorrow for current 5th graders. Again, they're not a 5th grade center, but they're getting ready to move them up, which will be held Thursday, March the 9th from 5:30 to 6:30 at the school. And thank you for your time, colleagues. And that's all I have.
So far, you won
Good.
tonight.
Yeah. Well, just wait. Hold
Uh-oh,
on, Ms.
uh-oh,
Evanchik.
here it comes.
So I would like to start out with congratulating the Gardner family for welcoming beautiful twin grandchildren into their family, Ben and Chloe. And also, I have a few remarks from Mrs. Gardner, since she is there with those grandbabies, and I'm jealous. I just had to leave mine this weekend. But congratulations to them. What wonderful twin blessings they have. But from Mrs. Gardner, she would like to announce the following. A great showing for the Fort Walton Beach Wrestlers, 4th overall at regionals, and they are now heading to state. First was Darius Brundage, second, Stephen Banfield, third, Santiago Mayak, and 4th, Connor Roberts. Congratulations also to the DMS, Destin Middle School, placed second state archery competition in Lake City this past weekend. Also, congratulations to Coach Gardner, Assistant Coach of the Year at All Sports. Now for my announcements.
Yeah, but it's not fair. You got 2.
I know, but, twins. So
Okay.
can I have 2 in honor of Ben and Chloe? So Blue Water Elementary School will hold several opportunities to hear their 2nd graders singing celebrations of Read Across America on March the 2nd at 9 a.m., 9:30, and 6:30 p.m. Blue Water also announces their book fair March 6th through the 9th and Field Day on March the 13th. They also want to express thanks to the Boy Scout Pack 553 for participating in Service Day by putting in pine straw all around the campus. The STEM Academy is proud to announce that they are nominated for the National Blue Ribbon Award, one of 13 schools in the state nominated for that prestigious award. And Niceville High School has 6 students who placed or won at the Regional Science Fair, and they will advance to the state competition. And they have 2 students who qualified and will compete at the International Science Fair, Marisol and Guidis, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name, and Aurora Menendal. And I'll just say congratulations to all of those participants and winners. I was with Sheila Lightbourne at the science fair, and there were some marvelous ideas that we saw those students being accoladed for. Just really outstanding. And I will just end with, just like that, we are in March and 20 days away from spring break, March the 20th through the 24th, and that leaves us only 65 days after that until the last day of school for students. Can you believe it? It's just flown by. And that, my friends, is all I have. Jordan, do you have anything? Thank you. Anything from the district staff? Anybody else?
And you, just for the record, do you have any yellow card public comment requests?
I had no yellow cards and no blue cards. Thank you. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.